And welcome back to another Cosmonarchy Casual Ladder Castover. It is still the 17th of October, and I am back with a second series of games between the Shambler and Benno. And I should notate that after the end of that previous match, we do see Shambler move up to first place ranking with a total of 5 wins and a 1.67 KD. That's impressive. And now, let's see what other impressive things the Shambler has for us with this first replay on Ex Situ. Now, I like Ex Situ. This is a really cool map. I mean, just look at it. You got custom tiles right out the bat. You got the custom installation blending straight into the high dirt. You can tell that some crazy engineer decided that this shit was going to look like some high dirt. And meanwhile, we have the Zaffer Shambler on the right, and the Beaster Brown Benno on the left. What do these fellas have for us today? I'm going to go ahead and call it. That's a fast gateway. Yeah, you probably guessed it too. That's our Shambler. And it looks like it will be another Fulcrum out of Benno. And so, if you haven't watched the previous series of games, you should know that Benno went fast Fulcrum 3 games in a row, and Shambler went fast Gateway 3 games in a row. And it did not end well for Benno at all. There's the Fulcrum. It's so much further behind the Gateway. By the time that Gateway finishes, the Fulcrum will maybe be halfway done, and then that Dragon is going to begin for the Shambler. Perhaps not right on time, because he's a little short on gas. After all, he does only have 1 worker on gas, but there it is. Where is it rallied? It's going right into Benno's natural. Technically, Benno's third, because they do have a mini natural in the main on this map. Meanwhile, we have a Mason being tickled to death by a Scribe. It will not be repaired. Oh, it will be repaired. But just a little tickle of a repair. Run away, Mason. Don't let the Shambler take you. Dracodon is on the way. We do have a Vulture. And this is the same thing that happened on Boscovine, guys. A pylon on the ramp. Ironically, also a wide ramp with a kind of a similar distance from the ramp to the main. Oh boy. Here we go again. We will see the lobotomy mines go down in time to intercept this Dracodon. I'm certain that, yep, Benno does have vision. The Shambler takes a pot shot, which will not be repaired right away. And meanwhile, this Dracodon will take just a few hull points that it can never get back. The pylon will go down, so Shambler no longer has eyes on the high ground. If he wants to see what's happening in Benno's base, he will have the storm forward into the front. More vultures being queued for Benno, who is floating a fair bit of resources. He has almost enough money for an expansion. He is double queuing his workers, trying to stay on top of the Shambler, which he's doing. For a moment there, he had a 2-worker lead. Shambler is also still not getting a lot himself. He does go for the expansion. What do we see from Benno? It's going to be a ministry. So we're going to see it expand for both players. So that tells me this game is going to stabilize a bit. We may see a mid-game between the Benno and Shambler, which is impressive to me because I was totally expecting like 7 more Dracodons to show up. And it won't be long before, the Shambler will no longer be able to just run up this ramp. We are going to see Benno float some mines. In fact, on all 3 of these vultures, they could definitely be locking down this area leading to the back of the mineral line. They could be locking down this area in front of the anchor. They could be locking down this area on the other side of the ministry. Just really shutting down every path that Shambler has to wander around this anchor and to start doing damage on the other side of Benno's base. Drakiden will be assassinated. And it looks like Shambler doesn't want to give up the intel that comes from holding the spot, but he also doesn't want to lose a precious 150 minerals and 25 gas. So he's going to pull that Drakiden back. You know, he really doesn't have too many units at home. He's going for a rogue gallery. Shambler is playing kind of greedy right now. He's also floating a lot of money. What's it going to be from the Shambler? He's forming a defensive line. He may be concerned. He saw that Benno wanted to roll out with these vultures. But it looks like Benno's going to play it safe now that he knows that his territory belongs to him. He's going to try to stop any units from getting in through the side entrance, and he knows that anything that comes in through this entrance over here is just going to funnel straight into his anchor. So he will have eyeballs on it, and it will not come as a surprise. We do have 2 rogue galleries, and it looks like the Shambler is going to start getting Barguest. This will be a hard counter to Benno's vultures, as they don't attack air. And it looks like he has some Matadors. The Matadors can fire up. So not all is lost for Benno in this moment. We will see, again, 3 scrapyards come out from Benno. I like to see the scrapyard play. I feel like we don't see scrapyard a lot, especially in the Ascension games. Looks like Benno is finally taking off the training wheels and heading out into the fray. He's going to follow the long path around the south of the map. If I was Benno, I would have taken at least 1 vulture and gone through this middle path over here. We do have a witness from the Shambler in Benno's expansion, now moving up and around his base. And Shambler will find out very shortly here that Benno's army is on the move. There are 6 Drakidens holding this ramp. There are 5 idle scribes and 4 Barguest. Working in tandem, I think they'd be able to hold off this attack. I'm actually not sure if this attack would be able to clear the ramp. Now, if Shambler were to misposition his units and walk into these mines, it could be pretty bad for him. He sees the lone Matador and decides not to chase it down. And a 3rd goes down for the Shambler. We do see some reinforcements for Benno. He is now going to consolidate his army. Meanwhile, Barguest. Lean, mean, cloaked killing machines that are marching their way towards Benno's mineral line, unbeknownst to Benno. He would really have to dive a lot of Masons onto that Watchdog in order for it to not be taken out by that many Barguest, and that could put him in an awkward spot. But the Shambler will be distracted by Benno's attempt at moving in. We will see not a lot of damage on these units here. Meanwhile, the Drakidens are falling quickly. They are not being microed. They could be putting down a lot more hurt on these Matadors if they had been stutter-stepped. If some of them had been positioned on this ramp, you know, those Barguest didn't get pulled back. They were not held behind. It looks like the Shambler is trying to pull pressure off of himself by applying pressure himself, which is not a bad strategy, but these Barguest will not be long for this world, and possibly neither will the Shambler's main. We will see the workers get pulled. Many of them will die. And some reinforcements come out for the Shambler. Benno's army is splitting as they chase the workers. This is an opportunity for Benno's pressure to get shut down. But he does have a handful of reinforcements on the way. Those are Goliaths. You know, this is looking good for Benno. I'm honestly impressed that he has stepped up his macro. He survived some of the early aggression from the Shambler, and he's really taking him around the park. The question is, will Benno remain steadfast? Will he remain vigilant and be able to close out this game before Shambler can get enough reinforcements? There's a lot of vagrants coming out. And Benno's original force is all dead. The reinforcements are here. Shambler pulls back, feeling the pressure. Warden's going down in the main, and Engram. Benno really needs to ignore this Nexus and just charge right into the main. Otherwise, he may give Shambler enough time for his static defense to finish. A lot of damage going down on Benno's army here. The engram finishes. More Matadors are here. They're going to burst down that engram if they can maintain their focus. Benno not too interested in dealing with this engram. He says he'll trade a few Matadors if it means getting the lead. Meanwhile, Ancestral Archives. Maybe Optectons, maybe Archons. I'm not... It may be Optectons. Shambler looking to continue laying on any damage he can to thin this army out. Meanwhile, more Matadors. Just brutal. No, Benno, come on. Yeah, there you go, Benno. Get out of range. And the Shambler quits. Not even a GG. What a sportsman-like move. Well, you know, maybe with a different unit composition, the Shambler could have come out on top here, but the Vargas just weren't doing it for him, and that attack that he did get off there earlier in the game, it wasn't enough. They weren't microed, they got taken out by the Matadors that were the reinforcements. And good on Benno. That is a victory for Benno after a long series of losses this season. Very exciting. Let's see what else they have for us. It will be a rematch on Ex Situ, and we will have a starting location swap for our players. That's going to be the Glacial Shambler on the left, and the Vivid Red Benno on the right. And here he is, Shambler, lamenting his failures in the previous match. He realizes his winning streak came from the pressure of the Dracodons, and maybe this match will see him go back to his old ways. Yeah, well, what Shambler forgets is that Rogue Gallery has the Kabbalist, which doesn't need any armor pen since it does 40 damage. But I wouldn't say Kabbalists are a good shout into Matadors, since deployed Matadors will, well, set them alight. They will not be agents of shadow much longer. We will see a scout from the Shambler. Meanwhile, Benno has yet to leave his base. We will see the fulcrum go down again. You know, something else is that Benno has been really focused on getting the fulcrum to work, but I think he's sacrificing the opportunity to include other units in his composition. You know, even a handful of medics or just a shaman or two would really make his army go a lot longer, especially against Protoss. And I often find when I'm playing that without the support of some healing units and an Anseal or two, you are just not going to pack enough of a punch in order to really break through the Protoss. Save for that last match, we did see the Matador pull through in that regard. But, in general, I think it's good practice. We will see a Zealot instead of a Dracodon as the first unit for the Shambler. And we will see a second Gateway. Benno realizes exactly what fate is in store for him, and his Mason will now be bennied by this Zealot. Meanwhile, Legionnaire. And it is once again the Fast Vulture and the two mines on the ramp for Benno. We will see an Anchor in a mirrored location relative to his previous starting location. And not a lot of early harassment from the players this game. We're seeing Shambler play more of a mild start. He wants to build a sort of a small critical mass of Legionnaires and perhaps save some gas if he was mining gas. I wonder if he's doing a mineral-only challenge. That would be really funny if he dedicated himself to killing Benno. Oh, nope, there it is. He's getting gas. I wonder if he forgot. Benno's scouting around. He's shocked that he hasn't been harassed by a Dracodon yet. He's thinking something is up, something is wrong. The Shambler is pulling my leg. He must not even be playing. There it is. 5 Legionnaires and a Zealot. Will they be able to pop this anchor? Not when they run into mines like that, they won't. The Vultures will not be microed. And the Legionnaires will be forced to retreat into Benno's base. This anchor will be occupied with more Legionnaires while these come and do some work on Benno's mineral line. Not a lot of damage for the Shambler so far. We are just now seeing the worker deficit begin. It's 2 workers. You know, there's a lot of disruption from the Shambler here, but he hasn't killed a lot of workers. He's lost a lot of minerals worth of units. He consistently has to disengage due to being decollided by the workers. And Benno still has some money in the bank. You know, he's not entirely behind here. Second Ministry finishes. It will be lifted off and sent to do its duty. Meanwhile, these guys will be stunned and quickly dispatched. Just brutal. There's, let's see, 3, 6, 9 more Legionnaires on the way. That is going to be 12 Legionnaires here very shortly. Not a lot of gas for the Shambler. I'm curious if he is saving for a big tech switch of some kind. Yeah, he really runs right into him every time. Here comes the anchor. It will be absolutely deleted by many Legionnaires. Ooh, look at those Masons moving in slow motion. That was indeed the Matrix. Yeah, that's not looking great for Benno. I don't think he can withstand this many Legionnaires. Yep, GG is called. Another quick game from the Shambler. I think if Benno wanted to have even a dream of withstanding that attack, he should have kept his anchor up by his mineral line, and he should have built another anchor and just not sacrificed his vultures without microing them. So, yeah, let's move on to the third game. We will see the players switch starting locations once again. That is Royal Blue Terran for Benno and Red Protoss for the Shambler. A classic color, mind you. Well, I think I know exactly what's going to happen this match, but maybe I'll be surprised. You know, Shambler switched up a little bit last game. What I'd really like to see him do, since Benno is on this shtick of doing fast fulcrum every game, I would really love to see him go vassals and just really troll him for going vulture first. But I'm not sure if we'll see it happen, and the answer is no, it will be another fast gateway. Will we see a switch back to Dracodons for this last game? There's the fulcrum. Scribe comes in to confirm. Meanwhile, the gateway is halfway done. And we will see Benno slightly ahead in worker production. Shambler immediately tasks his scribe onto the constructing mason. We will see the classic round rosy, as we have in the previous 5 matches. And a gift for Benno. His favorite gift, a pylon in his ramp. Fulcrum goes down. It is indeed another vulture. Oh no, he actually managed to get away. Yes, come on, Benno. Nah, it was too good to be true. You can't escape the Legionnaires. So, Benno knows the same thing is coming. What will he do to prepare for this fate? This pylon is slowly whittled down. So it looks like this is going to be the same initial wave as last game. He's going to get one more Legionnaire, he's going to get an extra Zealot. I think if Shambler sticks to his guns and he just gets another handful of Legionnaires and maybe another Zealot or two, he could just walk right over everything Bitty B has. You know, Bitty B only has one production structure, he's going for another Ministry, he only has one Anchor, he has 3 Vultures. He has a lot of mobility. He has, the ability to really abuse Shambler's units as they come into his territory, but he has to maximize on every moment or he is going to be overrun. There could be no mistakes. 4th Vulture arrives. A 5th is on the way. And we have, wait, will we see it? Yes. Good, Benno. Another Fulcrum on the way. Meanwhile... Oh, just brutal. That was a great stun. He lost the Vulture, but it was a great stun. Yes. I'm so proud of Benno right now. Yes, go. Finish them up, Benno. That's not too late. Oh, he'll lose a Mason anyway. Shambler's strategy has been thwarted. He's so stunned, 2 of his legionnaires have stopped in their tracks. But they continue to march onto the battlefield. Now that he's cleared out the mines, he wants to try his luck again. He says, I see you, Benno. I killed a few of your vultures. Now I just need to run around your anchor and you're helpless. But he will do it again, disabling half of his own army, all of his own army. Oh no, Shambler. What's this? Benno is microing his units? Surely this must be a dream. Matadors on the way, but will they be enough? Come on, repair it, Benno. Beautiful. But there's so many legionnaires. Will he really be able to deal with this? The legionnaires are being thinned, but Benno has lost a lot of workers. That's a 10-worker deficit right now. We will see the factories be harassed. And by factories, I mean structures that make units and not Terran factories, which is the incorrect name. There's nothing but more legionnaires coming in from the Shambler. That Matador goes down, and these legionnaires will be finished off as they chase that vulture around in circles. Benno struggles a bit as he familiarizes himself with the deployment. Building another pylon in Benno's base, so knowing he's under pressure. Oh, those legionnaires are so low. It would have taken just one more shot from the Matador. I think this is it for Benno. He's gotten quite good at stunning his units, though. But he just can't do anything to shut down his production. He's gonna start building in his main. It's definitely over for Benno. Yep, there it is. GG is called. Benno is destroyed, but manages to scrape by with a single win in this 3-match series between the Shambler and Benno. Well, folks, thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.